You learned a little about the drop-down list control in Lesson 115. The drop-down list control is a little different to the controls you've worked with so far in this session. List-based controls contain multiple items, each with their own set of properties. They also have properties and events that affect every item in the list. In previous lessons, the checkbox list and radio button list controls were mentioned, both of which work in a similar way to drop-down list controls. Bulleted list and list box controls are also based on lists, and are also very similar. Everything you learn about the drop-down list control in this lesson can be applied to the other list-based controls as well. To begin, open the My Project sample file from your Sample Files folder. And open controlstest.aspx in Design View. Next, add a drop-down list control to the page. Set its ID property to drop-down list test. We are now going to add some items to the drop-down list. You might remember doing this in Lesson 115. Open the Quick Tasks menu for the drop-down list and click Edit Items. Next, add a new item to the list and set its text property to Product 1. Then set the value property to 1. In the same way, create a Product 2 item with a value of 2. And a Product 3 item with a value of 3. You might be wondering what the value property is for. Items in drop-down lists are allowed to have both a text value that is shown to the user and another value that is hidden from the user but is visible to your C# code. The value is especially useful when your drop-down list control is linked to items in a database. List-based controls can be made to retrieve their lists from a database instead of typing them in manually. You'll learn how to do this in Lesson 11.2. Click OK now. We are now going to use the Selected Index Changed event of the drop-down list. As well as the text and value properties, each item in the drop-down list control is automatically assigned a unique index number. The Selected Index property is the index number of the currently selected drop-down list item. Add a Selected Index Changed event handler to the drop-down list control. Add the following code to the new event handler. Response.write drop-down list test.selectedValue. This code will write the value of the item that the user has selected onto the top of the web page. Next, add a new line with the following code. Response.write and an HTML BR tag. This code will simply add an HTML BR tag after the value. The BR tag adds a line break. Now add another new line with the following code. Response.write drop-down list test.selecteditem.text. This code will write the contents of the text property of the selected item. Now add another line that will add a line break. Finally, add one more line with the following code: response.write drop-down list test.selectedIndex. This will write the index property of the selected item. Now view the page in your browser. And try changing the value in the drop-down list. Once again, nothing happens because the page hasn't been posted back. Close the browser and set the Auto Post Back property of the drop-down list to true. View the page in your browser again and try changing the value in the drop-down list. This time, the event handler runs and each of the relevant properties are displayed. All lists in ASP.NET are zero-based. This means that the first item in the list is numbered 0 instead of 1 as you might expect. Close your browser now. Remove the drop-down list control and remove the event handler. You've now completed Lesson 4.7. Use drop-down lists.